Eugene Kontharovich is the Director of International Law at the Kohelet Policy Forum in Jerusalem. And, sir, it's great to have you on. Good morning to you. I want to share with our viewers a little bit of what you wrote in the Wall Street Journal. Don't give Gaza to the Palestinian Authority. That's the group that rules the West Bank right now. Not Gaza, but the West Bank. Israel will win this war, you write. Hamas will be defeated. The international community can't expect a victorious Israel to implement any version of its adversaries' aims. Handing Gaza to the Palestinian Authority would do just that. Why do you feel that way?
The Palestinian Authority is no better than Hamas when it comes to the objective of ridding the Holy Land of any Jewish presence, and doing so violently. Indeed, we say that Hamas should not be left in charge of Gaza because of October 7th. But as we present in this article, evidence from Fatah Telegram channels show, and Fatah is the governing party of the Palestinian Authority. Mahmoud Abbas is both the president of the Palestinian Authority and the chairman of Fatah. Fatah members participated in October 7th. Alongside Hamas terrorists, they invaded from Gaza and participated in massacres of civilians at Nahal Oz and then posted pictures bragging about it. Fatah members posted pictures saying, we're going to stomp on the heads of Israelis, and they showed themselves doing just that. Now, you'd think that would get people fired from most organizations, but instead, these actions have been celebrated by official Palestinian Authority sources, including Mahmoud Abbas, who immediately said that October 7th was part of the Palestinian right of self-defense. They're no better than Hamas, Bill.
I also wanted to ask you about this report this morning that an unnamed presidential aide in the region apparently told the IDF, you cannot have the sort of scale of displacement that took place in the north replicated in the south. It can't happen. There is an understanding that a different type of campaign has to be conducted. How is that going to go over with the Israeli public and the IDF, who has a mission to destroy Hamas and get the hostages back?
Yeah, exactly. Hamas leadership is in the south, and the hostages are presumably in the south. So President Biden should be encouraging Israel to fight whatever kind of campaign consistent with international law is necessary to free them. And if the displacement of civilians is a problem, which it is because Gaza is a small territory, the reason it's a problem is because, unlike any conflict in recent times, refugees are not being allowed to flee to the border to neighboring countries. Egypt is right there on the southern border of Gaza, and they have not let in one single refugee. Millions of refugees have fled from Syria, from Afghanistan, from the conflict in Ukraine. Those conflicts would be much more horrible if nobody was allowed to escape. The Biden administration should be pressuring Egypt to deal with any displacement by allowing refugees to shelter from the conflict.
No. Just go back to your line that I read there. Israel will win this war. What happens next then?
So after Israel wins this war, just like when the United States won the war against Nazi Germany, against Imperial Japan, winning the war is not the end of it. You then have to win the peace. And what that required in Germany was denazification. That is to say, the Nazis were not some weird implant on German society. They had broad support in German society, much like Hamas and its ideology has in Gazan society. We saw just today footage of the hostages being taken out by the Red Cross and Gazan civilians pounding on the door, yelling, screaming. We had a story yesterday, one of the hostages escaped and was caught by Gazan civilians. They didn't hide him in the attic. They turned him over to Hamas. So there needs to be a de-Hamasification process, and that can take years, as it did in Germany. And throughout this period, Israel has to retain security control. There cannot be a situation in which another armed militia is allowed to arise on Israel's borders to threaten it in this way.